What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. Hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that you believed me when I told you earlier this week that we had another very special guest coming your way here on the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel, where if you haven't yet, please subscribe. We are getting close to 23,000 subscribers. We're on the march. We want to get to 30 before the season is over, and the season is just about to begin. And actually, before the Dallas Cowboys season begins, everything will start for the league on Thursday. We've got a Thursday game and a Friday game, but Thursday, the reigning world champion Kansas City Chiefs will host the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be awesome, and we have a little bit of insight in terms of what's going to happen because our special guest today is Kansas City Chiefs center Creed Humphrey. You may be familiar with the social campaign Creed is Good that all the fine folks in Kansas City had surrounding him throughout the course of his rookie season. Well, Creed was kind enough to join me for a conversation on Friday. In case you're unaware, it was August the 30th when he and I spoke about 12 hours or so, not even 12, like 10 hours before his Oklahoma Sooners began their own season. College football's back. It's just a wonderful time of year. And this was a really fun interview, a really fun conversation because Creed is one of the better centers in the NFL. He's certainly paid that way. I wanted to know what he thought about Cooper Beebe. I wanted to know what he thought about CeeDee Lamb because he played with CeeDee in Norman. There was a lot that Creed and I had to get to, and I think it's a conversation that you're going to enjoy. I do want to thank Creed for the time and certainly want to thank Sleep Number. You'll hear Creed and I talk about it. And if you are a familiar user with our YouTube channel, you will know that I mentioned this in the conversation, have a Sleep Number pillow that former Cowboys and now Tennessee Titans running back Tony Pollard gave me back at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go into our channel feed and go check that video out. It is a very fun conversation, but I'm not going to delay this one any longer. Here he is from the Kansas City Chiefs center, Creed Humphrey, joins us next. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you next time. Pleased not to be joined here at Blogging the Boys by the one and only the internationally famous. I have heard that he was casted to play James Bond in the next installment of the franchise that is Kansas City Chiefs center, Creed Humphrey. Creed, is that true?
Maybe we're seeing right now. We're hoping it's true. We'll figure it out.
I'm super excited to talk to you. Cards on the table. I cover the Dallas Cowboys for SB Nation, and so there's a fun, obviously, kind of idea who the Chiefs are. So I'm excited to learn from your perspective. But I know because I cover the Cowboys that the same questions generally get asked, to teams in prominent positions. You obviously are in a very prominent position, so I want you to challenge me. One topic that I won't touch. It could be the three-peat. It could be whatever you want, and I won't go there if you're sick and tired of dealing with it.
Yeah, anything's fine. We're good with anything we can talk about. It's all good.
That's interesting because I would feel like that question would get annoying, on a human level, right? Like obviously it's something you want to do and it's a goal, but it would be exhausting to have to say over and over and over again, like, yeah, I mean, we want to do it, but it's very hard to do. You know what I mean? Like that would be just kind of difficult to deal with.
Yeah, the way we look at it is we're not really looking at it as three-peating. We're just looking, it's a new season, new team, so we're ready to roll and see what this year's version of the Chiefs is.
I think that's the hallmark of a great team, of a dynasty, certainly. And so kudos to you all. You live at the center, no pun intended, of so much in the NFL. Do you kind of ever sit back and look and say, like, man, we're a long way away even from Norman, which is an epicenter of football in and of itself?
Yeah, definitely. Just the success we've had since I've been here, man, I've been very blessed. Getting to play with the players I have, getting to play under the coach that I have. It's been nothing short of a blessing, and I get to kind of sit back and think about it all the time, and it's just from where I started to how I ended up here, it's nothing short of a blessing, and it's been awesome.
That's really cool. I mentioned Norman, obviously, and that I covered the Cowboys. I was curious for your thoughts on CeeDee Lamb, the newly paid CeeDee.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for him. He's an awesome player. I played with him for 3 years at Oklahoma, and he's a spectacular player, obviously, but he's also a spectacular person. So, really excited for him. He's going to continue to do great things. He has already in the league, and he's always fun to watch. So we're excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, I think, to line out or lay out rather what school the Cowboys are most connected to. And I think that's an interesting question relative to the Chiefs. Like, what school most permeates your locker room?
We have a good influx of Oklahoma players actually. We have me, Wanye Morris, James Winchester, the long snappers from OU. We just picked up some RJ Ryan, so we have him now. And I feel like there's always at least 4 or 5 guys in the locker room at a time since I've been here that it's OU guys. So it's really cool, and it's really good to see other alumni there, guys I've played with that have been there. It's been really cool.
It's a busy day, obviously, for Sooner fans because you and I were talking on Friday, August the 30th. So I'm sure you're going to park yourself in front of a TV later on tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm excited for it. Excited for the new season for them. Getting to play in the new conference, it's going to be really cool to watch. It's going to be really interesting. So I'm ready to see him. I know Venables has him right down there and ready to roll. So it's going to be a fun season to watch.
That's what I was going to ask. I mean, it has to be again, annoying may be the wrong word, but maybe part of you is like, I would have loved to have, gone to Death Valley. I would have loved to have, gone to Gainesville or whatever the case may be. Like, this is an entirely new world, for Oklahoma. So is any look, I know that you wouldn't, change lives at this point, but is any part of you like, I wish I kind of would have gotten to experience the SEC?
Yeah, it would have been fun, getting to play at those big time games, the big time stadiums. They're known for having, the rowdiest crowds and stuff. So it'd have been cool, getting to go to places like LSU, Tennessee, A&M and all that. But we got to play in some big time games when I was at OU. So, I got used to the atmosphere by the time I got to the league, and I've gotten to play in some, huge games in the league now too. So it's been really awesome, and there's nothing more fun than playing in a stadium full of people screaming the whole time, and it gets you going and makes you play at your best. So it's always really fun to watch.
You mentioned that you played in a lot of big games. That certainly goes without saying. What's a low key big moment or big drive that you would, kind of recall that wouldn't be obvious, right? Like if I were to ask people like, oh, what are the biggest drives in the Creed Humphrey era in Kansas City Chiefs history? I mean, people might say the most recent one, obviously, in overtime of the Super Bowl. But what's one that you're like, y'all don't recognize how difficult this actually was for all of us?
Yeah, obviously you can point to the Super Bowl. You can point to the first couple of drives against Baltimore in the AFC Championship. They're a really great opponent, really physical defense, and we were able to, kind of set the tone for the game in that first drive of, you guys are physical, but we can be physical too. And it turned out to be a really great game, really physical game, and they're always a fun team to play. So, I'd probably say the first drive of the Ravens. Just setting our tone, letting them know that we're there to play too. And they're always a physical group, and you have to bring your best every time you play them. So we get to play them this coming week, and it's always a physical, fun game against them.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're speaking on Friday the 30th. So a week from now, the first game of the season will be, over and done with. And you're obviously well accustomed to playing on the Thursday opener at this point in time. It's an exciting thing with football coming all the way around. Again, I talked about the Cowboys. They have a new center in town. Are you familiar with Cooper Beebe? I know you all kind of run in the same circles.
Yeah, I've never met him, never really got to talk to him, but I've seen him play at Kansas State when OU would play him. He's a great player, so it'll be fun to watch him. He obviously got a ton of experience in college, played a ton of games in college. I think we played him a couple years when I was there, so he's a great player. It's gonna be fun to watch him for sure.
I have an interesting question about this, but while I'm here on the Cooper Beebe front, he's making the transition from the interior to center, and there's a lot of people that I think are like, oh, no big deal. Like that's an extraordinarily difficult thing. Your thoughts on kicking in from guard to playing center from whatever side it is, just at least from a Cowboys perspective, what people can hope to expect from Cooper Beebe this year.
Yeah, it's a completely different position. It can be tough for guys. Your job is setting, all the mic points, setting the protections, doing all that. You have to read defense a lot, being able to see where teams are blitzing from, what fronts they're in, kind of, being the general of the offensive line and, kind of getting the guys going in the right direction. So, I think with him, he's had so much experience playing. I think he'll do a great job being able to move in, and he'll figure it out pretty quick. And I think he's going to do a great job. He's a great player. So
That's really well said and really kind of you. Now, I'm going to be a little unkind. I'm a big purist in terms of football, the NFL. That's why I love the Chiefs. They're a historic franchise, right? There's a lot of history there. Got to be honest with you, Creed. Centers wearing 50 numbers, not my thing. Like Cooper Beebe's in 56. I don't even want to open the can of worms where you're at. Like that is
yeah,
just a horrible thing as far as I'm concerned. Do you have any line of defense for wearing 52?
yeah. I mean, Mike Webster wore a number in the 50s.
Respect.
He's considered one of the best of all time. So I got it. That's how you got to look at it. But I'm not a guy that gets too caught up in the numbers. I wore 56 in college. I wear 52 now, and Yeah, for me, it's I don't even really think about it too much, to be honest with you. I'm just out there playing my game. So, but yeah, there's been some great centers that have worn 50s.
Okay, at least you were able to substantiate it and justify it and point to some history because numbers are a big thing for me. They matter. Like certain numbers look right, they make sense. Certain types of receivers make sense in certain numbers, whatever the case may be. I think a strong like 65. Where 65 is the center. Like I'm great with that, but 52, dude, like you're way off the deep end, in my opinion. But on the subject of numbers, you are here on behalf of Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL. Currently, 80% of the league benefit from an improved sleep performance on Sleep Number smart beds. I have a Sleep Number pillow that Tony Pollard gave me at the Super Bowl last year. How does Sleep Number influence and impact your abilities as a center, even in an improper jersey number, nonetheless?
Yeah, Sleep Number, I got one my rookie year and it's been a game changer since. Being a you can really tell a difference in your recovery and everything from what, I was sleeping on a cheap mattress in college the only thing I could afford really, compared to now sleeping on, Sleep Number, which is the best of the best in beds. So be able to do that, it's been great. I feel so much more well rested, physically stronger, mentally sharper, all those things. And being a center, I think it's a huge key being as mentally sharp and physically ready to go as possible. You're like I said earlier, you're pointing out all the mic points, you're setting protections, you're reading defenses, doing all that stuff. So the bed has definitely been a game changer for me. And being able to use the app's been awesome too. Getting to adjust your sleep IQ number, things like that. Being able to track, breath rate, heart rate variability, all that stuff. If there's a day that I don't feel as well rested, I can go back on the app, kind of check, see when I've woken up throughout the night, see, the restless sleeping that I've had. And, I can adjust the sleep number setting off of that. And also having the adjustable base, I can, raise myself. I snore. Big guys snore. They tend to snore a lot. So, being able to, raise the bed to get in a position where that's stopping me from snoring, that's been huge too. So really, the quality of sleep has been so much better for me since I've been in the league from the bed.
Yeah, I mean, there's an inordinate number of benefits, obviously, to Sleep Number, and I can attest from just a pillow perspective. There
Mhm.
was a big deal made 2 years ago now about you all having to wear road uniforms for the first time ever in the playoffs, and then last year, obviously, playing your first road playoff games ever. It's no wonder that y'all just keep winning because you just get to play home games and sleep in your Sleep Number bed instead of the hotel ones.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel well rested every time going in a game, especially home games, getting to sleep on that bed. So, yeah, it's definitely an advantage. And there's so many guys in the league that sleep on sleep numbers, and it's helped them too. We can attest to it in the locker room here. The majority of our guys have sleep numbers, so it's been awesome.
Currently, Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year is happening. You can take up to 50% off of smart beds. The sale is live now at sleepnumber.com and runs through Labor Day weekend. A fantastic weekend because football's back, college football, the NFL coming back, and now you can get your Sleep Number sale. If you choose to do so. You don't have a pillow like me or a bed, obviously like Creed. You mentioned the app. I think people talk so much about certain storylines when it comes to the Chiefs. I'm trying to find out who Creed Humphrey is. What's the second app you check in the morning on your phone outside of Sleep Number, obviously?
Yeah, sleep number, then probably the weather app.
The weather
Weather
app
app.
is the
Yeah,
first thing you go to
got to
after
make
sleep.
sure the weather's good. See what I'm going to wear for the day. See if the drive's going to be longer because of rain, things like that. And then I also check the Maps app just to see the how much traffic's going to be in the morning route. So just so I can plan accordingly. But yeah, probably those two.
Oh, I mean, I've got to understand now. I have a 2-year-old son, and I feel like I've just shifted into this entirely different mode of life. Like I smoke meats now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've just become this whole different person. And so what do you look for on the weather? Like to train the casual person because not everyone uses the weather app properly. That's my point.
Yeah, I check obviously temperature, winds, precipitation, air quality, all that stuff. I'm checking everything out. We're gonna be outside. Got to check air quality, see how the pollen is and all that. But yeah, I'm checking everything on that thing.
You are a health and wellness person, Creed Humphrey. Obviously, with your sleep number situation, and maybe from an allergy standpoint, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you for a prediction on the three-peat thing because I do find that to be annoying, and I wanted to avoid that for your sake. But I will ask along a three-peat line, what's the best third movie in a trilogy?
Best third movie.
Yeah, like because it's difficult to have a trilogy be good. You know what I mean? So like what, and you can't go Star Wars. That's a little too chalk for my taste.
Yeah.
So like what's a good one? Like one that you hope the Chiefs can wind up being, so to speak.
Man, that's a tough one. Obviously, Star Wars is a great answer. Lord of the Rings, I would say I love Lord of the Rings growing up. So that whole trilogy was awesome. That was kind of my sci-fi movie growing up as a kid. So I was a big fan of Lord of the Rings. So I'd say the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yeah.
Well, I know that you're busy tonight with the Oklahoma game, but the season 2 of Rings of Power just came out, so you
Yeah,
can go
I
check that
saw
out.
that. Yeah, I'll definitely need to check it out. I've been wanting a new show to watch, so that'll be great.
There you go. Also, that was the wrong answer. The correct answer for movie trilogy is Back to the Future. That's the best movie trilogy.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a great one too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here to help you out, Creed. Best of luck this season, unless you meet the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, obviously. But really looking forward to watching your story unfold and this season unfold. Thank you for the time, and everybody visit sleepnumber.com.
Of course. Thank you.